Welcome to our Friday update for Friday, July 10th. We know we've missed a couple of weeks doing these, so today we have quite a bit of things to go over. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First, I want to thank all of our fire department family for the outstanding turnout and support for TPD and Officer Dia and his family. That support between police and fire is absolutely necessary for us to be successful in what we do in our jobs. So I want to thank everyone who came out, and even for those who couldn't but showed support in other ways, thank you. On behalf of Chief Craw, he told me to let everyone know that he appreciates it. It will not be forgotten, and we've got to keep moving on despite how hard that situation was. We've got to do what we have to do, and we have to do it safely, together, and have each other's backs. So that's what we pledged to TPD, and they pledged the same to us. So thank you for your support. We have a couple of the safety reminders. We've had a few mishaps with some rigs and equipment, so please make sure that you are, I'll say, situationally aware of what is going on with your rigs and the equipment that you are using. Again, we've had some mishaps that may be kind of costly, so we need to make sure that these sort of things don't happen. So we just have to pay attention to what we're doing, and then make sure nobody gets hurt. That's the bigger issue. No matter how much it costs financially, we don't want someone to get hurt because we just weren't situationally aware of what was going on around us when we were using certain equipment. And along those same lines, we have to make sure we're vigilant when we're on runs. When we're out there interacting with the public, especially in today's climate, where oftentimes people can't really discern one uniform from another. We have to make sure that we're aware of the people who are around us, what we're doing, what those people are doing, and make sure that we have each other's backs. So please be aware of that. Make sure your head's on a swivel when we're out there in the street taking care of our business. It's hot. Make sure everybody's hydrating. Make sure that you have your rig stocked with ice and water. Make sure you're hydrating before your shift, during your shift, and after, before you go home, so nobody gets sick or has any issues because of the heat. We're going to continue to push out information pertinent to safety and our welfare of our members, in particular more things with COVID. I know our people are tired of hearing about COVID-19, but unfortunately it's still there, and it appears to be ramping up again. The Lucas County Health Department and our HWO doctors state that as long as our personnel continue with mask wearing, social distancing, hand washing, etc. in the stations, and that they continue to be asymptomatic, we can continue to work. Of course, unless there's a direct exposure, and then we have to resort to quarantines and so forth as necessary. With this ramping up, there's some other things that we have to make sure that we're continuing with. There was a letter sent out. It was COVID-19, I believe, memo number 7 that came out on March 14th concerning unauthorized civilians in our stations. So I need you to please review that memo so that we can make sure that we don't have unauthorized civilians in our stations. There's a possibility of them bringing illness into the stations, which then affects our members. And we are really being hit hard again with quarantine, and we have to make sure that we can continue our operations. We need to keep our people safe and at least not get sick from bringing people into the stations that shouldn't be in there. What I will say is, with everything going on with TPD, we do want to open up our stations for our brothers and sisters in uniform on TPD. With everything going on now, we need to make sure that our stations are a refuge for them. Please allow them in there, get something to drink, get something to eat, and allow them to get away as needed, just because sometimes it may be necessary for them, especially now. So we do want to make sure that we allow our brothers and sisters in TPD access to our stations, but we are not going to allow unauthorized civilians into the stations, and that even includes family members, because we have to keep our people safe. Still, regarding COVID, we can't control what our members do off duty. However, we can suggest that you follow some good practices in the environments that you put yourself in. We all know there are a lot of hot spots out there now, so we need to stay away from those, not just because of work, but so you can keep your family safe also. Especially places that are in clear violation of the governor's orders. Consider every place such as this as a potential outbreak location. This is information that we got from our HWO doctors. COVID-19 testing is readily available to all first responders, especially if someone feels as if they have been exposed. So even if you have a potential exposure out in public and you're not at work, let us know that. If it was a true exposure, let us know. So please continue to be vigilant with that so that we can keep our members safe. The numbers are rising in Lucas County. Deaths and hospitalizations are not right now, and we can't speculate as to why that is happening, but we need to emphasize we need to keep ourselves safe. We're going to move to some information I got from Lieutenant Gerald Murphy. It's concerning some EMS issues and some communication issues between the MDTs and ESO, and I'm going to read directly what he sent. Officers and acting officers need to log into both the MDT and ESO every morning and throughout the day when the crew changes. Our EMers and INFers are both dependent on these logins to accurately download our personnel into the reports. Also, a CAD update in early June has resulted in many incidents not being available for import into ESO. We know that's very frustrating. However, it's a CAD and Lucas County problem and is beyond our control, and it could actually be some time before it gets fixed, unfortunately. It's important to remember that our people need to obtain information manually and import that into the report. Again, our people are going to have to manually import the information into the report. We know that's an inconvenience. We know it prolongs some of your times, but it's out of our control and we're going to have to do it. And if you have any questions about that, please reach out to Lieutenant Murphy or our EMS Bureau, and they can help you out and give you further direction on doing that. I know Lieutenant Powell's been out working on some of it, but if you're still having issues, reach out to them for help. And finally, a lot of you by now have already heard that we have to say goodbye to someone who has been an institution and a fixture in our department for over 60 years, both in uniform and out. Retired Assistant Chief Robert Schwanzel passed away at approximately 4:30 this morning. Our thoughts and our prayers are with his family. Lieutenant Joe Schwanzel, who he retired, was working with us. He was actually in my class. You can't regain that type of institutional knowledge and history, and he is going to be irreplaceable. And we want his family to know that. We want them to know that we are thinking about him, and he will forever be a part of our department, as will they. So please give them your condolences and reach out to them. And the last alarm announcement is going out so that everyone will have it, and we need to send Chief Schwanzo out in style. So that's it for this week. Stay safe, stay cool, stay dry. See you next time.